YouTube. How the hell are ya? It's Iconic Bilo bringing you Shrouded Secrecy, a series where I come to you almost every week, depends on if I'm sick or dealing with something, and I will tell you something, either a little bit about my life or a little bit about something in history, and how either corruption, secrecy, or something like that shrouds what everybody else sees, and maybe get a little insight into the history behind it. And today, as always, we will start with a warning saying this video will contain graphic speech and content. You are warned. This video will be about the police and a lot of corruption that's been going on in New York City, and we'll probably talk about Arizona as well for a little bit. But we're originally going to start out with something that happened a little bit earlier this week to a family friend of mine. He was shot to death after leaving a traffic stop by a police officer while trying to possibly drop an unloaded firearm. Now, in the same area, I believe it's a different borough, but still New York City, a police department also had a huge lawsuit by a woman who was molested by the police officer. Okay, so we're going to dive both deeper into these cases and how I feel about what has happened in New York City and what I feel has got to change. Now, I was going to start out with the video that the news posted about my friend, but I was unable to record the specific video because of the different rules you're allowed to have and stuff like that. And I also wasn't able to do it because of the site it was on, and I couldn't find it on YouTube, so I apologize for that. I'll put the link down in the description for you guys. Once you guys watch that, make sure you pause the video, watch it, and then go back to here. There's three major inconsistencies that I found with the video that they posted. The two photos that they took were completely taken out of context. The picture with the gun in it was actually him having a BB gun in his hand that he found. And the picture of him flipping off somebody behind a cop is him joking around with his friend who's a cop and his sister who took the picture. So both of those are completely off, yet they wouldn't post pictures of him with his nieces or nephew, and they went through his entire Facebook. So obviously they were trying to make him look as bad as it possibly could. Now we're going to move on to the story that the news told, and then we'll tell you the few discrepancies that they didn't decide to tell you, or they didn't want to tell you because they were possibly covering something up. They had a normal traffic stop. My friend got out of the car, started running. Obviously, we don't know if they came up to the car with guns or what happened, but who knows? That's always a possibility. You never know exactly what's going to happen. As he was running, he went to drop his gun that he had in his pocket. Now, this is where the first thing really kind of comes up. They don't say whether or not which way he was facing when the cop shot him. If he was running away from the cop and dropping his gun, it is 100% illegal for the cop to shoot him. There's a law in New York State that if you pull out a gun as an officer, you're not allowed to fire a warning shot. You're not allowed to shoot at anybody who is fleeing you, or you are not allowed to shoot somebody unless you are fearful of your life. Now, that can be skewed the other way, saying, oh, well, he was pulling out a gun, obviously he was going to shoot him. No, I can tell you personally, this guy would never do this. He was all in it for his family, and that's all he had, and this is what's scary about things like this. It could happen to anybody. And truthfully, after all of this, they will not tell which way he was facing, if the gun was loaded, and quite a few other things. Like, there are just so many inconsistencies in this story, it's ridiculous. Personally, I'm really starting to hate the police. I'm really starting to hate all of the recent problems that every cop has been having issues with. Now, I'm not saying that all cops are bad, but I personally can't trust them anymore. I can't believe everything they say. And they're just like us. What makes his life more important than mine if I get shot? You know what I'm saying? You know what? Fuck you, dude. Fuck you. If you're going to sit here and say you're more important than me because you defend me, you don't defend me. I defend myself. You defend yourself. Which is why, if you look online, the way cops think is, if you're going to do anything towards me, I'm just going to shoot you. I don't care. As long as I go home at the end of the day, that's all that matters. And truthfully, you're wearing a vest. They're not. Why wouldn't you just shoot him in the leg, shoot him in the hand? You have more than enough training and skill in order to accomplish something that you don't have to use deadly force for. I personally, I'm not going to believe them until they do what Arizona did with putting a GoPro on all of their chests at all times. Until then, I'm not going to believe what they say. I don't think I can, because really, truthfully, how much can you take what people have to say, you know? And with everything that's been going on in Arizona and everything else, I feel like the police are gaining in power and they're just not going to give it up. Okay, now we're going to start moving on to the woman's story. This one's a little bit longer and a little bit more graphic, so if you really are sensitive, please make sure you click away. But this happened in New York City as well. It may have been around the same town. I didn't really look. I don't really know New York City all that well, but this was amazing to me, especially since it happened 3 days before. This comes from freeproject.com. I'll make sure to put the link in the comments. Well, either the comments or the description. Courtney Silvera was eating her breakfast cereal when cops began knocking at the door. The cops were looking for Courtney's mother's ex-boyfriend in connection to into violating a protection order. According to the complaint, the cops began pounding on the front door, at which point began to spiral out of control. Courtney's grandmother, who was suffering from brain and lung cancer, opened the door and had a hard time understanding the cops' reason for being there. This brave little child, curious of what was going on, grabbed his grandmother's cell phone and began filming the incident. The police had come to our house before, said Silvera, and he began to become fascinated by the police. He really kind of looks up to them. A nursing student at Long Island University as she told the Daily News. But the cop apparently didn't like being recorded, and began assaulting the child, the suit said. I heard my son screaming, "You can't do that. You're hurting me. Don't hit me," she said. The mother had been upstairs getting her 5-year-old daughter ready for school. She bolted downstairs into the fray, dressed in her underclothes, and was grabbed by the cop, who pulled her outside into the freezing cold, the suit alleges. While Silvera was being restrained, her breast popped out of her bra, revealing that she had a pierced nipple, according to the suit. The officer flicked the piercing. He flicked up the ring with his finger on her right breast, she said. He said, "Is this what mothers look like these days? My neighbor saw me naked. It was degrading. I can deal with the embarrassment of what the police did to me in front of my neighbors. But the hardest thing is explaining to my kids that not all police are bad," she added. Silvera was charged by the cops for assaulting the police and was released 2 days later on a $1,500 bail. When she returned home, Courtney's leg was black and blue and swollen, she said, and the boy had been taken to Kings County Medical Center, where an x-ray had shown his leg was fractured in quite a few places. The 10-year-old was involved with the cop in this incident, who he was trying to be a real tough guy and beat up a little 10-year-old. Even if everything the family alleges is false, the 10-year-old somehow attacked the cop. You can't restrain a 10-year-old without breaking his leg? It's kind of crazy, don't you think? And that really kind of blew my mind. Like, I'm a parent too. If this ever happened to my kids, come on. Every single cop in that damn precinct would be done. And she's seeking an undisclosed amount for alleged civil right violations, which, whatever. You're going to put it under civil rights, go ahead and put it under civil rights. But I feel like both of these kind of attribute to the Trayvon Martin case that happened a couple of years ago in Florida. We all know the story, so I'm not going to go over it. But they said that Zimmerman was innocent, basic part of the story, because he was acting under being attacked. And this is something that I feel my friend was not granted. He was not granted being innocent until proven guilty. And he wasn't told that, hey, you bring that gun any farther, you're going to get shot. You're not going to get a shot in the leg, whatever. You know, you got to attack these people. If you're going to shoot somebody, You attack them like you want to bring them back, not like you want to kill them. This is not a war zone. And anybody who is in the military does not need to become a cop. This is getting fucking ridiculous. It's sad how many people now are dying on our home soil, let alone people in our own backyard, because cops want to be power hungry. Cops are slowly becoming more powerful and more powerful because not only do we not say anything, we hire ex-Marines who are used to having body armor and tanks, and they end up getting that for their precinct. There's quite a few places now that have MRAPs from Afghanistan because who doesn't want to spend money on a huge fucking car that they can drive around and not get blown up in? Because you really need that in New York City, or you really need that in a small town area. That isn't needed. Assault rifles aren't needed. They've never said what shot, my friend. They never said how he was shot, other than it was in his chest. And to me, I don't believe any of that. I don't think anybody should be believing in any of this. Just because of the inconsistencies in every single story the cops tell you, or the news tells you that the cops told them. They don't normally leave parts out unless they are trying to cover something up. They would have said, oh, he was running because he had drugs on him. Oh, he was running because he had a warrant out for his arrest. Not because, oh, yeah, he was running and he was trying to pull out a gun. Normally, people don't run unless they need to run. It's a normal life thing, feeling like you gotta run. And for somebody to be gunned down because of a normal, natural instinct, who knows what could have happened. I could be completely wrong, but I know this guy, and I personally feel like he needs his justice. And if they're not going to give somebody a trial for this, it's ridiculous. I'm very happy that that woman got her trial, and I'm very happy that I was able to find that out, just the information about it. Because to me, that's insane that within a couple days, 2 people of color were affected by the police. And to me, that's amazing. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this. I know it's a little bit shorter than my normal, but I really kind of needed to get this out here for you guys because I've been slacking a little bit. So I'm going to make sure that you guys enjoy this. I am also starting a brand new series where I'm going to show you guys. It's going to be similarly called to So You Wanna Be A. And I'm also looking to start a sniping team for a second channel that I'm adding into the iconic lineup. So if you guys do like sniper gameplay, you're a sniper, whatever the hell you want to do, make sure you sub to that channel as well. And if you guys are interested in joining, make sure you guys message me and send me a couple clips of what you got. Okay, and sorry for this being late. I've been dealing with quite a bit. I'm also sick, so if I sound like shit, if the pop filter's off my mic, I apologize for that. It's the best I can do right now, and I had some free time, so I really kind of wanted to get this out for you guys. Okay, so as always, make sure you guys liked the video. If you really liked it, make sure you comment or subscribe. Make sure you tell me everything that you guys feel. And if you feel like I'm a dick, go ahead and say it. I don't really care if you give me negative feedback or positive feedback, and make sure you guys tell me anything you guys want me to improve on. Okay, Bilo out.